come in close himself, as opposed to just letting the creep do all his work for him.
Most of these heavy carries in the end. I am interested to see if this Mirana is going to go with a Midas as well, since she's in the farming position. And compared to the Gyrocopter and even the Storm Spirit, a little bit lacking in terms of carry potential. The Gyrocopter can dish out a hell of a lot of damage, even though he has fallen out of favor. He has fallen out of favor with the current meta, which I find kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool seeing him paired with the Darkseid. We're seeing a little bit more of a wombo combo team. I mean, you don't see those very often anymore.
No, like teamfight is still a kind of big part, but it's not like the huge teamfight. And it's going to be a little bit harder for him to land. Like, you've got the vacuum, but you have no sort of hard stun to keep them in that.
Hang on. We've got the poison touch coming out. We've got the amphotic shield booking that stun again. We've got Mirana arrow hitting Dazzle. Gyrocopter first away with rocket barrage. It's not going to actually take anyone down though. So
and Dazzle giving up first blood
to Dazzle. Yep. Gonna see AA go down too. Gyro will go down here too, I think.
Oh, that amphotic shield doing work. Yeah, all three down.
Well-placed amphotic shields are amazing. Being able to just completely remove a stun is.
Yeah, and that's not even on the side of the Mirana. Like, the Mirana's got the amphotic shield on her side. So that's just huge, absolutely huge, and that's basically the lane one right there.
Yeah, absolutely. They can sit back now, be fairly comfortable in their position, and just sit back, be happy. They've got the Soul Ring on add-on now, so he can amphotic shield whenever he wants. He can do it free and no stress.
Jamie could go down though. One more right click.
Jamie's going to go down to Gyro, rocket barrage. To be honest, that's what you did before, that obscene magic damage that comes out of the Gyro early game, and then the awesome right click from late game. Some really good magic damage come out of this Gyro.
And Gyro is one of the few late game hard carries that actually isn't completely useless early on. Because most heavy carries like a Luna or especially a Spectre are just so incredibly squishy and babyish. They need to be babysat by two heroes. But Gyro just waltzed in on his own, took on that Lich, and just blitzed him and annihilated him. Actually managed to secure that counter kill and at least even out his farm a little bit, if not the two supports.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Dazzle go down in mid.
It's
Storm Spirit taking him down. He rotated round to help out the Viper, and Storm Spirit just pulled him in, zapped him, and used his Static Remnant to finish him off.
Oh, Gyro's going down in bottom. We've got amphotic shield on the Abaddon. Once again, that tower dive ability is unbelievable. He managed to get down. Oh,
he got
great body blocked by the Ancient Apparition, using that creep to the best possible advantage. I'm liking this Icy Vortex idea. The Ice Vortex combined with Rocket Barrage, increasing that magic damage.
That is a really, really nice call. Not taking any levels in cold feet, which I think is the definite good move, because having the Ancient Apparition paired with the Dazzle, you're not going to really get that cold feet off. So it's much, much better to enhance that Rocket Barrage damage. So great and interesting actual laning presence here from the AA mixed with the Gyrocopter. I haven't actually seen that before.
I've considered doing that kind of build before and never actually had the guts to do it, and it's really quite clever. Having that Icy Vortex max, if he maxes that before he goes too crazy on the cold feet, they're going to be able to have a Dark Vacuum into an AA ulti that has Ice Vortex sitting on it the whole time.
Yeah, that's massive amount of damage coming out.
That's going to be painful. That's 30% magic decrease. Both their supports have received a massive buff in the last two patches.
Yeah, and Dazzle's buff to his weave, as well as was it the poison touch?
The ulti now has an extra 4 seconds on it. It's obscene. That's 4 seconds of extra armor. So not only does it add more armor, but you also get it for longer.
And just thinking about it, it's actually a really nice combination, because you've got the AA, which enhances the magical damage early with his Icy Vortex, and then you've got Dazzle, who lowers the the armor at the later in the game when gyro actually starts to right-click and when armor becomes a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So it's such a good... I really quite like their team. It's such a good combination. Oh, Marana arrow, gyro dodges it. Just quickly up top, we have actually seen a Midas come out in the Doom. So it'll be worth watching how those last hits start coming out. He's actually now beating Darkseer in last hits. Oh no, he's not, sorry. Darkseer's beating him, but he is gaining.
Darkseer's obliterating, but in terms of farm itself, Doom's actually leading. Because of that Midas pickup and his first skill, the Devour, he's actually, even though he's got 10 or 20 last hits, he's still beating Darkseer in terms of net worth. So I think with that Midas pickup, I swing late game potential. If Marana gets one as well, I swing late game potential 100% in 100% in Markyi's in Markyi's favor.
It's the same as Viper.
Yeah, exactly, Markyi. And yeah, if Fedora Lord actually picks up a Midas, 100% in favor of Markyi in terms of late game potential. But if the Doom's now got a Midas and he's got his Devour, I'd say it's probably even in terms of farming potential right now, because this gyro can clear creep stacks much faster than anyone else on this team.
Absolutely. We do, however, have Marana sitting there with 1,200 gold. I wonder if she's trying to tee herself up a nice early Desolator.
That could be an interesting strat. Desolator is the first
Moonlight
item.
Shadow coming out. She did actually show herself, so they know it's on, and they're running. She came forward a little early, the raid didn't kick in. That's the problem. You play these characters, you get so level 16 that you forget that early game, that fade delay is considerably more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so now they, unfortunately shown their hand a little bit too early. Storm Spirit was there to back them up at one stage, but now they've gone back to tower. They were back at tower. Storm Spirit rotated back. I mean, now we've got a gank happening on the Viper, and Dazzle got his poison touch off, and then Donkey Kong finished off the Viper with a little bit of a zip here, a little bit of a zip there, and the ball lightning damage just too much for Viper to handle.
Invisibility. I think Dazzle may have seen that ward go down. They're really on top of the D wards this game. They're making sure they're dealing every time they see a ward go down, and it really does make massive game impact, not being able to have vision.
Oh, for sure. And actually Mechanism coming out at the 10-minute mark for the Darkseer, so he's got his Mechanism all up and running. Now I think he'll be working towards those mana boots just to make sure that he has enough mana in the tank to actually hit his vacuum, his ion shell combo, as well as have some mana to spare for the Mechanism pop.
That's right.
For his team. Because if he finds himself without mana, it's going to be a useless Mechanism sitting right there.
Got an arrow coming through on the AA, Viper coming through with smoke. He's going for the Dazzle while the Shallow Grave's on. He doesn't care about him. He's going straight for that Dazzle. He wants the Dazzle. Gyro ulti coming down, cleaning up the Abaddon and the Lich.
Unleashed out, but one more right click from Donkey Kong finishes her off, and that's a 3-for-0 trade. So great, really good initiation from Marana. Took off a lot of AA's health, but that's Shallow Grave, and actually followed up by the call down from Gyrocopter was huge amount of damage, and they turned that over incredibly well, and now that's 6-4 with that 3-man kill. So TM heading into the lead.
I didn't actually get to see. I think there may have been an Icy Vortex down there, and therefore increasing the Gyro ulti by that magic resistance, removing the decreasing their magic resistance by 22%, making it basically the spell does what it says it does, and not minus anything. So that's 350 damage early game. That's huge.
Yeah, for these squishy supports especially, the Lich is incredibly squishy. Abaddon not so much, but the Marana too. Anyone caught in that cooldown, and that's going to be half your health.
That's
goodbye.
Right. And then you've got a Rocket Barrage coming along after that. That's 23 damage per rocket, and there's 10 rockets per second, and it goes for 3 seconds. So that's 3 times 230. That's a lot of damage.
That's if the RNG gods are nice to you and you're close to just that one target. But still, hell of a lot of damage, and it's not something you want to deal with early game. And we really just show the early game team fight potential of Team Moops over Markyi.
Oh, we got Blink Dagger pick up on the Doom. That's a really interesting pickup.
Also a
very
really
with
quick,
the current meta.
very quick Blink Dagger pickup too. It does, yeah. It allows him to initiate.
Yeah.
It allows him to get off his Doom on the target that he wants, rather than whoever's closest or in range. Speaking of which, in range is Delete 12, and he's going to hop a Doom.
Doom's on the ducks here. We've got Abaddon doing I can't remember what that first spell is.
Abaddon's first spell? Yes. Miscall, just do a little bit of extra damage. Usually used to heal, as it does do a little bit more. Oh no, actually, the damage is the same either way. Damage and heal. So, aggressively to skew that kill. Now, AA sends in his ult. Viper is going to go down. Great initiation from Donkey Kong. So they got their initiation. Team Moops has their initiation with the Storm Spirit, with that Blink Dagger pickup with the Doom. That is their initiation right there, as well as their tank. So their initiator is their tank, so that's going to be nice. Whereas Storm Spirit a little bit squishier, and could find himself in a bit of trouble if he initiates on the wrong target or finds himself doomed when he zips in.
Absolutely. One thing we do have to see, and I think will make a massive difference in these team fights, is Smith, King of the Gargonite, has to get his Amphotic Shield on after a stun goes down. It can't be before. If it goes on before, it's not going to count for all that much. If it goes on afterwards, it's going to be obscene, because they're going to be expecting that person to be down and out for a few seconds, and they're not going to get the few seconds they're counting on.
I just want to draw your attention to the insane farm rate of Cheese right now on the Doom. I mean, we are 14 minutes in, and he is 8.6k in terms of net worth. And the nearest person is the Viper on 5.4. I mean, a 3k lead at this early point of the game is immense. And he's making sure to use his Devour and his Hand of Midas whenever it's off cooldown. So it really shows when you go this heavy farm build on Doom, how efficient his farming can be, even in a difficult lane like a lane with Darkseer.
And it perhaps even, as much as I bag out the Lich pick, it does
They all
actually
come
show.
in bot. Sorcerer's probably going to zip in. Sleep out from Mirana, making sure that she doesn't get Electric Vortexed in.
Oh, we're from the Jari. Yeah, that's a great example of the Lich sacrifice does actually keep down the enemy carry farm. As much as I don't like Lich and I feel like he doesn't do enough to warrant a draft pick, he does actually contribute to dipping away a little bit of that carry farm.
Yeah, and one creep, every wave or two is pretty at this high level, pretty. What am I trying to say? Impactful, pretty impactful in the early game with the carry farm. Yeah, significant, exactly. And Dazzle is kind of caught on his own right now. We still got the tri-lane together, and there is a ward that's just come down from Markyi, but it's going to be scattered out by this very fresh Observer Ward that's just been put down. Sorry, not Observer Ward, the Sentry Ward, put down by Team Moops. So as soon as they get in range, they'll be able to actually de-ward that. Arrow coming through from Mirana, not going to hit anyone. Just firing in blind to make sure that no one's sneaking up on them.
The other thing we didn't actually reference before is just the ability for Dazzle to defend towers. Just sit there with Shadow Wave, just occasionally shadow waving the creep, pushing them back. You never actually get to push up on the tower.
I do find it interesting that they haven't really attempted a pretty hard gank on him. He is a little bit harder to gank than most other supports, considering he can prolong his life for a good 5 seconds with Shallow Grave. But still, I mean, getting a kill on
with the Abaddon shield, they've got the tower dive. They could do it. Maybe not now that Delete 12 is here, but
they could have taken advantage when Cuckoo was out here on his own defending this wave all on his lonesome while the rest of his team was around getting up some farm. I do worry for IWJ about his farming potential compared to the Doom, because he's sitting he is the highest net worth on his team on 6.2k. Just behind the Viper.
Marana's Moonlight Shadow. Abaddon's procced his ulti. They're not hitting him, they're not interested. Viper comes in. The Darkseer wall going down. Amphotic shield on the Viper, that is not nice. Coming out from the Darkseer, so everyone's pretty much back to normal.
sure that that Viper ulti doesn't do too much damage to the